I don't even know where to start with this. I guess I'm going to blunder through this one, so just bear with me. I took that 153 apart. You know, the ones we want a turbo? Well, I'll tell you what. It's the darndest thing I ever see. It's a segmented saw. Like, there's the bore oil tank. That front cover, like Max got, which is gorgeous, by the way, got 10 bolts in it. Yeah, it's got 10 bolts. I've been 4 hours it took me to get 10 bolts out. I didn't want to break nothing. Doing it all by hand. I just dumped a little oil out of that tank. Well, I guarantee this wood bench ain't gonna rust. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I do. It's your oiler rod. You know these are slow. I don't know if I can get where you could see in here, and if I did, I don't know if I could get where that you would understand. But I'm going to do my very best here, so just bear with me. They have a ring of holes all the way around in this cylinder. All the way around. Three right here, these three right here are just captive plugs. I'm going to assume that was something to do with the machining process. I don't know for sure. They do have proper reeds. The reeds feed right here in the bottom. But they also got holes right up here in the top. It bleeds air and fuel above. Well, they have this side hole here that feeds 3 holes in the cylinder here. And just like, you know, them old Steels, they had the intake right here, and then you turn it, and then exhaust. That's the way these are. Well, this has got web in there. Yeah, I'm taking that out. I know on them P38 around them, well, on them Pioneers, you told me don't do it, it won't work. Well, it does work. And I'm taking it out. I need the exhaust to get out of this. The exhaust timing was abysmal. Just unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. Bad. Slow. I'm going to speed it up an awful bunch. The intake timing is going to be controlled by a reed. I'm going to see if I can't get a flashlight and everything close enough. You look in there, and see the end of them right in this area here. See them 2 little black dots? They're long reeds. They're finger reeds. When the piston changes direction, starts up, the vacuum draws them open, draws fuel through the carburetor. Okay? And it draws it up. It draws it from an air horn. This air horn right here feeds them reeds. It's got just 2 holes. And then, like I just showed you, there's that hole there that feeds the side ports. They're light transfers. Okay, but it also has some amount of air fuel going on top of the piston. Well, I can see where they headed it with that, but we know enough about 2-strokes now that we can take a kind of a funky, okay, why would you go through all that work? And the machining had to have been ungodly expensive to do what they did. So let's take advantage. Like I said, there's holes all the way around that connect one way or another. If any of you have seen these apart, you'll understand. If I can get somehow some clear video of how many holes in this, you wouldn't believe, between exhaust and transfer holes, and then there's 3 blind ones. Well, we're going to fill them blind ones because I think that'll disrupt our air. There's a hole all the way around. It's not to be believed. The Squish, Classic Mac 78, something like that is a Squish. So we accidentally found a way around that too. Sometimes you get a problem and you try to find a solution right then by looking around your shop and see what you got right now. Hey, Tin Man, right? Yeah. Well, okay. So, we're going to block these holes. We're going to make it a proper case fed reeds using a half of a Honda CR500 reed. Just that pedal is perfect. I already measured it. It has a little higher tension too. Them are long, thin reeds. I want a little more tension. With a little more tension, I can get to feel what the saw is going to need, and I can sand them reeds to get them where I want, in areas that I want. It's just something you learn how to do with bikes, you know. Okay, so when we get done taking everything Robert McCullough did to this for design, which was state-of-the-art in this day, trust me, but it's a dinosaur. Okay, remember dinosaurs are predators? We're going to make this one the big one, and that's what we're going to do. And but I had a bad thing happen, I really did. Now I'll tell you, I got to make that gasket. That front cover into your oil tank, that's your fuel tank. Pretty cool. I got to hand build that gasket. I got a few gaskets I'm going to hand build. And no big deal. But I want to show you the crank. This right here tickled me to no end when I seen this crank. It really did. That ain't bad at all. That ain't gargantuanly heavy. We're going to probably have to change these bob weights just a bit. We know how to do that. Cast iron bore, I could bore this. Yeah, I could. Except for one thing. I wouldn't trust the rod. We got to make that rod live. Got nice big roller bearings. Very, very much like them Pioneers have. Just nice. Same size both ends. Good job. Good job, Mr. McCullough. You got my attention with this one. Let's see. Here's 372 crank. This is 80cc saw, by the way. See, I mean, you're starting to get the relationship that the bob weights are very much the same. The stroke is very much the same. So imagine a 372 that was 80 cc's. Okay, just imagine it. I want you to think that way. Okay, now they have this piston that if you knew how thick that was, it's monstrous weight here. No bearings on the outside. It's got a cap on one side. I see where a cap was on the other, but it's not anymore. That used to be done to, they'd plug one end generally to keep air from flowing through the wristband up to transfers. But in this case, no, that a cap just come out. You can see it used to be there, but it's not no more. And I didn't find it either. I don't know where it went. So, but the rod is ridiculously small. The wristband size is such that it's stinking close to 12 millimeter. It's, I got it figured out. It's just a tiny little bit different. So what I'm going to do, and I dug around, just like Tin Man would, I found this piston. I took a measurement from the top of the hole for the wristband to the top of the piston. It's a little taller than that one. Done my math. I had to check it 3 times. it corrects my god-awful squish. Brings me to 24 thousandths. 24 thousandths in the Mac is not possible any other way. I got lucky. It happened to be that this bore of this, which is standard bore, is it's like 2 thousandths, within 2 thousandths of the 54 millimeter. Okay, isn't that amazing? So, when I do a light hone, it's going to be magic numbers. We'll clearance this piston, and we will the rings. We're going to make sure we got proper end gap. We're going to clearance the piston, and how I'm going to solve the problem of the pin difference, it's pressed just like an automobile, like the old 350. Press pin, and then it floats on the outsides. This one is sloppy. It's, if I was just going to cut firewood and wanted one to run around, I wouldn't worry about it. That's not what we're doing with this. Now, this rod is so hard, it's unbelievable. This is a well-made rod. Now, I know that rod doesn't weigh very much, but this is stupid light compared to this. It's way, this piston I'm using is way lighter. Now what that's going to do, that means more RPMs. It actually means more horsepower too. But we don't care about the horsepower, we're getting that other ways. Lighter. Okay, but the difference is, the skirt's just a little longer. See that? We're going to trim that skirt off to match this. And it's a windowed piston. That's not going to matter. We don't need them windows. Or I might find a way to take advantage of them. We wouldn't do that with the transfers, would we? No. Why would we do that? Let's just see if I can. I'm going to use this piston. I got to get this rod off. You got to heat this and press it at the same time. It's just a little hand press, no big deal. Get a proper amount of heat, press that out. I can't remember. I did the measurements, but I didn't write anything down. I don't know if I'm going to power ream this wrist pin hole in this piston we're using, or if I'm going to ream the rod, one or the other. I think what I'm going to do is ream that piston. I believe that's the way it was. It is just stinking close, but I want it right on. I want it exactly right. I messed around with this. We got a nice ring arrangement on this. The only thing I'm concerned about is this has pins in it. If them rings aren't going to line up where I want them to, in fact, we can find that out right now, guys. I think they'll be fine. They're going to line right up in the center of each one of these holes, which these three were blocking off. And it's not going to cause me any problems at all. But we're going to open this area here up. We're really going to get serious with that. And we're taking part of the stop off the reed so the reed could actually really do its job. We know how far safe it is. We'll probably push it a little bit. When you're doing this kind of thing, it's a whole lot of work for what you get. A lot of assembly time, it really is. Hey, Colin's here. Colin in the house.
Jeff's called like twice already in the last 5 minutes.
My logger buddy Jeff.
Yeah.
Logger buddy Jeff wants me. I think he wants some trees cut. We're looking forward to that. Hey, Colin, look at this. I want to show Colin this. I explained to you what the layout of these transfers and stuff were. Let me find my flashlight. Take this flashlight, look in that cylinder, and look at all them frickin' holes. How many holes is in that?
6 at least. Oh, there?
All the way, yeah,
12?
halfway down. 12 holes all the way around that cylinder.
And there's 3 little ones at about 6 o'clock position. Jesus.
Unbelievable.
All the way around the whole
They
thing.
were headed toward an aircraft engine, just got scared and didn't finish.
Yeah, you can make that a rotor easy.
Yeah, you know, they were headed toward something bad. Well, Colin, I had a problem, buddy. I'm going to show you what we're up against. Now, this rod doesn't weigh very much, obviously, but what's the difference between these two? Just imagine less the rod.
This is way, way lighter, like a million times.
This is a third the weight, isn't it?
Easily.
Easily a third. Maybe less than that.
That's the one you're putting in there?
Yeah. Well, guess what? Here's what happened, Colin. This wristband, see this area?
Got the windows in it.
See this? Yeah, just don't mind us. I'm showing them. I'm excited. See that?
Oh, let's play.
Yeah. Can't have that.
Nope.
It's a press pin here. That's dangerously close to the same size. I got to ream that.
What about the windows?
They'll be fine right where they are. They're not going to bother anything.
That's why it's lighter.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. But I'll have to power ream this, I think, 3.5 thousandths.
That's the difference?
To get that wristband.
What's this one for?
66 Magnum
Really?
flat top.
You're that close, huh?
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Who told you you're allowed to do that with chainsaws, by the way? You're not allowed to do that. No, that's wrong. Take
Push
it back.
that in there and pull that back out. Tell me if you think that's going to work.
Just take it back.
That's scary shit, ain't it? Put that in there and feel the clearance.
That's against the rules.
This is scary. Guys, we're going to have a 153 that's one of a kind. Buck and Billy, it's got a P38 that I set on camera as the world's fastest P38, and I challenge anybody to prove me wrong. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. If this don't blow up the minute I start it,
Which you might.
which can happen, I'm going to tell you this is going to be the world's fastest 153 or 250. This is what this is going to be. That piston is stupid in there.
Yeah, you put a ring in there, you're going to get compression.
You know, I don't know what the frickin' squish was on this.
Don't tell me it's 20,000, 25,000.
Like 82 thousandths with
Wow.
with Mac piston. That piston is slightly taller from the wristband than this one. When I done the math on that, my squish is going to be 24.
Well,
Now this saw don't have a decompressor. Now something else I want you to see. Look at the size of the combustion chamber compared to what you're used to seeing.
yeah, the squish band's a lot bigger.
A lot more. Tiny little combustion chamber.
Yeah.
Shaped like an egg. That was old thoughts. I'd like to correct that.
Melon baller scoop.
Yeah, that when it just goes you. I mean, it just goes you. That's real early 60s, 50s thinking. That's what they did. But we've learned since that combustion chamber shaped like an egg doesn't work. It's you're holding it back. If I can get in there
Yeah, go tell her to tell Jeff.
and taper that, okay, Colin. I get in there and I can taper that and change that just a bit. We'd actually have a nicer running saw, quite honestly. I know I got to at least break that edge. This will be you're asking for detonation, spark knock, like you never seen with this shaped combustion chamber. I'll fix it. I will. So we have a piston solution. We have a crank and rod assembly that is capable of some very, very serious RPMs. We really do. With an extremely light piston. Now remember, this is a saw we want to turbocharge. So when we hit the numbers, we're going to leave that profile where that it works good with forced induction. Okay? We might not. We're going to try it without it first. We're going to run it first and see where we're at. But I got a turbo on the way, so that's going. If I decide this one scares crap out of me, we'll put it on something else. But my intention remains the same at this point.
You got a job tomorrow.
I do?
Yep, you got a job to do tomorrow.
What am I doing tomorrow?
Apparently you got to go put a guide down the mill.
A guide?
Yeah, for Jeff.
We got a great video for tomorrow. We're gonna work on a band mill. This will be.
Maybe they'd find that interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. That'll make a great video. Okay, my logger buddy got a little trouble. He gives me a holler. He helps me, I help him. This is what makes the world go around. I don't even know what to say about this. I tell you one thing, I'd love to put new seals in this, and I'll find some somewhere. The one, I like the feel of it. The other one, I'm not near as comfortable. Okay, now that we went through that, and it blowed my frickin' mind, we got case-fed reeds that I can work with. Way too many holes. That's better than not enough. I'm going to block part of them, and the other part we're going to open up and get good timing. We're going to get the exhaust right up to snuff. We're going to get that right where we want it. Okay, there's those of you that's been out there asking me, well, gee, Harvey, have you ever thought about putting crank stuffers in one of these? Can you do this to a saw? Can you put crank stuffers? And I've said it's pretty much unnecessary. And it is. Does it help? Oh, yeah. But there's other ways to get them gains. Well, guess what? I'm going to drop a bomb on you. It already comes with crank stuffer. Yes, sir, it does.
Take that and modernize it like you did that other Mac.
Yeah, no kidding.
Boy, you got something.
Yeah, a real carburetor on it.
Yeah.
We're going to do a real carburetor. What crank stuffer's got, for those of you that don't know what this is, it takes up airspace in the crankshaft. The theory behind it is, and it's valid, is when you're case fed with crank stuffers, the air goes quicker because the less volume in the crankcase goes quicker to your transfers. You won't get that momentary lag, but yeah, and it does work. So we got reeds, we got case stuffers. We're going to a modern design piston. If I thought for sure this was the right thing to do, you know what I'd do? I would order a Weisco. Man, you know what? Wouldn't that be fun with a Weisco? Yeah. A Weisco would handle the turbo. The problem is, if I do what I'm doing here, I'm going to raise my compression already so darn high, I ain't going to want to put a turbo on it. That's what's going to happen, and we'll just have to turbo a 66 Magnum or something. But I so much want to turbo this saw. So let's see what we can do. People, it's been wonderful sharing this experience with you. I actually, what was going to be tomorrow's video, it was going to be in today's video too, but I ended up tangled up doing some gardening things that need to be taken care of. My cucumbers went stupid, my pickling cucumbers.
Yeah, every single day.
Yeah.
Like 40 of them.
Yeah. They're breeding like frickin' cats. Darn thing, they're breeding like cats. Yeah, you know what? I had a story I was going to tell you guys. I don't have long enough on this video. I'm gonna get it in. Maybe we'll tell that tomorrow. But I had something interesting that I was going to tell you about, and I've been feeling one coming out for quite a while. I'm in such a great mood because of all this crazy stuff we're doing, and the bills are going good. But I just want to, we got what, like 4 projects that I've showed you that we're actually in different phases of doing all at the same time, as well as building saws. So it's fixing to get crazy around here. Now, as we start assembling and firing these mothers up, that's where the fun starts, isn't it? That's where the fun starts. I'm so glad you're here to watch this from the beginning, because you can see things tore apart, and I mean only so much. Or if I don't show it, we just build it. You say, but I missed that. I don't know. I don't understand. Well, neither would I. I like videos that I want to see what the guy's thinking, what he did, and what kind of crazy things are possible. That's what I like. Commercials are better. We got to work at that. We got to get the right balance. You got to make the money with the ads, but you got to have entertainment without ruining it with the commercials. Stay safe, people. Thank you for showing up. Wait till tomorrow. We will be working on a diesel-powered wood micer. Have fun, people. Goodbye.